Keep fair. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to turn everything they touch into gold, sales skyrocket, and every single business that they launch seems to just magically blast through every invisible ceiling that you may be experiencing? Now, I don't know if you've been at a place where sales seem to stall out, they flatten, or they completely plateau, or it puts you in a spot where you need to make income really quickly and you don't know where to actually look. What if there was one commonality that every one of these businesses that take off have, or these individuals who seem to just stack income like it's effortless for them, that 99% of the population are just blind to? And while it's not necessarily super, super easy, it's not hard either. So the first thing we got to look at is, where's the liftoff point? And there's a great phrase that people say is like, assets come before income. My mentor, Travis Sago, says this. Daniel Priestley says this. Myron Golden says this. And across all the different gurus that are uber wealthy, they'll say, you got to stack assets that produce income. Now, I didn't get that at all. I was like, that sounds great. I got my house. Maybe we got a building, and maybe we got a short-term rental, but what other assets could they be talking about to grow their business and grow their income? So what I didn't realize was the first part of this formula is that this is assets. Oops, we'll move that down. That's assets. And so what is the most important asset that any individual or any business owner could have that, if they made it really good, would allow them to get whatever it is they want in their life, right? Now, first thing I discovered was that the asset is actually an income producing item. Okay. Now, most people think of stocks, bonds, real estate, or whatever it might be. But the fact of the matter is any business can launch information into the ecosystem to start attracting better leads, better clients, better patients, better customers right away. And there's 5 types of assets. I'll walk through a couple of these first. The asset number 1 is we got to make what's called an irresistible, incredible offer. Now, there's 5 different types of offers on this that produce income, right? The first one is you can give something away free. Look, this is my book, Time Collapsing, right? So Time Collapsing is a book I wrote that really just detailed my perspective and my research into why is it that some people are able to have massive success and other people can't. And then Time Collapsing, the concept is, how do you shorten that so that we can do it faster? And there's really a few simple principles, which on my show, I'll cover that more in depth, but really is go find a model, someone that's already got the success that you want. Go find a mentor, somebody that can give you wisdom and guidance throughout your journey, because either they've been there before or they've mentored many people on that journey. So they have the eyes to see around the corner, that when we start out or we're doing something that we're trying to, actually not even starting out, I mean, no matter how long you've been doing something, you should always have a model and a mentor that you're working with, because if you're not growing, you're dying. Anyhow, I could say that confidently, that if you don't have a model mentor and you're not following and replicating the steps that someone who already has the outcome that you want, there's a big gap in your game plan right there. And so I'll cover that more in depth on a different show. Right now, what I want to talk about is the 5 different types of offers and the ones that you can launch really quickly. So at offerwingman.com, we launch a free workshop. It's every single week. It's myself and then business owners like yourself, people that want to either get their expertise out into the public and charge for it and make money for it, or service businesses that would like to attract better clients and they want to pre-educate them. And that's the idea around Offer Wingman. I help people create better offers, right? And so the first offer would be free. And so if we're going to give something free away, what is the most important thing that we need to be doing when we're giving away something free? And most people think it's free, so people will want it. The fact of the matter is we're asking them to transact time for our ability to educate them and hopefully sell them, okay? Or qualify them or make them interested or bring them closer down the funnel. And so there's a payoff there. And so I just said the word that's the most important word. What the number 1 most important element of every single offer is to identify and find out what is the number 1, number 2, number 3 payoffs for the person that has the money that you would like to see in your bank account. And it's because you've obsessed over solving a massive problem for them. Okay, so that's number one. So maybe I'll write some of these down as we're getting into this, right? So there's 5 different types of offers. Number one is you got your free, this could be a lead gen, or it could be a free workshop. It could be a free seminar, even like local service businesses, local businesses. If you guys want to become the most trusted advisor in your area, whether you're selling dental implants or whether you're advising people on the house to buy, I could think of people right now. So I worked with dentists for 13 years, and any of these guys that are willing to actually create a little bit of content that answers the most pressing questions of people that want to come in and get dental implants are going to have a massive advantage over people that don't do that. Okay, this is something super, super small that you can do. And here's the coolest thing: not only can we take free content and the free value there, but we could post it on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube is a place, obviously, we spend a lot of time posting, but it creates massive authority and trust and the desire to be with you, and it eliminates the price resistance that people may have with your offers. Okay, the second offer is what we call a book offer, or like a PDF offer. Okay, and this would be something you can give away for free, but we could charge anywhere between $5 to $30, right? Now, if you want more velocity, the lower you go, the more velocity you're going to have. And so we just got to make sure we have our upsells in place. But let me share 2 examples. So this was the first book I ever wrote. This is called 10 Secrets for Teen Success. A long time ago. And guess what? I bought like 1,200 of these books thinking that everyone would beat a path to my door and buy all my stuff. And guess what? Nobody wanted them. Turns out teenagers don't buy books. And then the few parents that actually buy books for their teens, I guess you have some parents reading some books for teenagers. But it was good for me to start on this journey of learning, okay, hey, if you want money, you got to create assets. And if you want clients, you got to make offers. Okay. So assets create money, offers get clients. Okay. And I have another video I'll shoot called Everything is an Offer. And I'll tell you about the formula here. So actually, let me just pull this up here. So Myron Golden has a great thing. He says, and actually Travis Igo says too, the more offers you make to more people equals more money. And so why I wanted to cover this is because I thought everybody knew what types of assets you can build out. And frankly, when I was starting out, I didn't really realize that the goal of this stuff is to set it up, have it working for you day and night, whether you're working or not. Okay. So the third type of asset is, so you have a book, and then you have like a course or something that would charge anywhere between $197 to $2,000. Okay. Now here's an example. When I was in dentistry, I was helping dentists grow their dental practice for 13 years. I wrote a training. This is a 12-week training manual right here. Boom, gigantic. And how to double your profits, patients, and referral marketing system. Now, this wouldn't sell the same way it did back then because it's a huge binder. Back then, info was new. And so people were happy to spend $2,000. People are still happy to spend $2,000, but I would condense that down into a 8-week module accelerator. And the goal is, if you're going to do that, you want to have them get results in the first week. You don't want them waiting 8 weeks. Like the 8 weeks is time, which means the client is having to do more work. So back then we used to be like, hey, we'll spend 8 weeks together. Now we try and say, hey, what's the payoff, right? We try to get to the payoff in all our offers. We want to offer the payoff as quickly and get them as quickly as possible. So the rest is gravy. So just remember this, right? As we do this, we got payoff, and this is the focal point, right? The larger the payoff for the person, not the time they spend with you, is the offer. Their payoff, not yours. Okay. Now I want to show you this one other thing that's pretty cool too. This is called the dark side of dentistry exposed. And this was a simple little small offer, has the same kind of effect like a book would have. I believe we charged $47.97 for this, and we'd send it out in the mail. And what's really cool about that kind of angle, that offer, is that you're going to get a lot of people, like if you take the opposite. So for example, like in info marketing or expert marketing, this is a no-brainer. But what if I'm wealth advising, right? You could do the dark side of retirement exposed. And what's that? Most people can't retire and live on the means and the money that they wanted to because of how they invested. So what are the solutions that they can take advantage of now? Or maybe they retired and now they're getting taxed too much, whatever that might be, whatever that pain point is. These pain points are relevant and people are dealing with them on a daily basis. And everyone has different levels of degrees of issues, right? And so it doesn't matter how wealthy someone is. It doesn't matter how good looking someone is. It doesn't matter what age people are. People have problems. And so when we turn their problems into a payoff and we craft an offer around it, you have now an asset that you can charge a lot of money for. So you're tracking me on that. It's really powerful stuff. Glad you're still tracking with me. We're almost wrapping up here too. So the other thing is, and we'll move here on a couple of things. So that was 3. Now this is where I love doing intensives or live trainings, right? Now, actually, let me talk about this for a moment too. For some of you guys, you may not necessarily do that, but what's beautiful is that you could do virtual trainings, right? And you could charge anywhere between $2,000 to 15 grand. If you have the right payoff, you see what I'm talking about? You can go as low as, like for our challenges, we charge 97, 297, and 497. So you can see all that stuff over at offerwingman.com, by the way. And while I'm pitching you, let me tell you, you can go to timecollapsing.com and pick up this book as well. But I'm not done yet. So we got 5, right? And so 5 would be something that's a higher tier. And so you got consulting, you got masterminds, and maybe you got a done with you or a done for you. So let me bring these all up. So consulting is pretty obvious, right? 4 hours, 6 hours in person, and or you're just on a monthly rhythm or weekly rhythm with an individual or a business, right? Which all businesses have individuals, so it's the same thing. And so the cool thing here is you can charge anywhere between 5K to 25K to whatever you want to do there. And the same goes for the masterminds and the done with you. So for done with you, one thing I do with people is I'll do an offer wingman interview, right? We call it the $1 million interview method, where we build out a whole sales process through an interview process that helps people who predominantly are selling premium price products that do not want to come across salesy. And so what we do is a sideways sales strategy of designing a podcast that promotes that person and highlights that person. And what my main goal is when you're with that person is to edify them and make sure they hit every emotional trigger that would get the right person to see the payoff. You see where I'm going here on this? And what they're able to do is take that, and guess what they're able to do? They're able to take it, and now they got an asset that allows them to create an offer, that allows them to generate money, okay? And so I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else like that. So this is like the free lead workshops, but the other thing I want to say is there's actually another type of asset, and then I'll wrap this up, is your content, your free content in YouTube, Facebook, IG, all that content, those are assets. They're going to go out and they're going to find the buyers for you and they're going to bring them to you. I got clients right now that like all they do is do what I'm doing right now is they create content that solves problems for their ideal clients and their ideal patients and their ideal customers. And then the algorithms, the AI nowadays, is so sophisticated. So some of these guys have literally replaced $30,000, $50,000 a month ad budgets and now just focus on spending 3, 5, 10 grand. That 10 grand's way too high, but like 3 grand, maybe 5 grand on production costs to produce content. Hey, is that okay? Hopefully you enjoyed it. Go build out an asset, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Actually, let me say one more thing. The magic in all this is when you stack all these things, where we have a book, we have a free workshop, we have an upsell, we have a live thing, we have a mastermind. That's the quickest way to double, triple, or quadruple your income, okay? And bringing it full circle as to like, why do some people have success and it seems like it's effortless and you may be hitting plateaus? It's guarantee it. They're creating more offers. They have a better offer to more people more often. And it may be ugly in the beginning, because you're trying to test out a lot of things. Remember, it's not about you. Don't take it personal. It's just the offer. We keep working on making the offer better. Really quick note, I'm speaking at an event next week. I'm helping a wingman client on his offer in his live event. And so it originally was, I think, 7,500. We changed it. It's now 12,000. Okay. And then we decided to look at, when I was doing the consultation with them, I said, tell me about your best clients. What are they making? And some of these guys are doing 5 million, 10 million in revenue. So a $12,000 offer is like nothing. It's literally pennies. And so what I said to him was, look, I bet you that guy or gal who's doing 5 million, 7.5 million, 10 million would prefer to be in a group that is everybody who's over 3 million. Okay. And I'm sure they would pay a lot more money than 12,000. So if you want to like build it for 100 grand and then sell it for 50, or build it for 100 grand and then sell it for 25. And the reason we build it for 100 grand is, well, twofold. Obviously, one is we wanted to over deliver, but number two is that I want my client to be so confident that he's going to be able to deliver and that he's over delivering. And then we just break the math down. It's, look, if you get one new patient a month and they each are 2,500 bucks, it's going to pay for itself at 25 grand, right? That's a piece of cake. But we don't want to think that way. We want to 10X them. Now, so that's the downside for them. The upside is, what if we 10X your new patient flow and you get 10 on top of everything else we're doing? Then, gosh, it's a free mastermind. You see how I did that? We eliminate the price, give them the payoff, and then we have your mastermind as a bonus. And so that's the way we sell the high ticket services. We got to make the price be eliminated. We got to have them focus on the payoff. And then we got to make it so that it's in their mind perceived as a free opportunity, even though they're the first one to pay. So that's it. Ted O'Keefe. Head over to offerwingman.com if you want to watch one of our advanced videos, take one of our free workshops, or see how I can help you grow your business as well. So that's it. Have an amazing day and see you soon.